if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before?
Okay, this is episode 1 of the KyleCast, and it's the debut episode, so I'm just gonna do a little intro, talk about what this is. See, I don't know if anyone's gonna click play, so Steve, might just be me and you, and that's kind of the point I'm gonna get into. That's perfectly fine if it's just me and you. See, this is gonna go on Facebook, so anyone that does see this is gonna be thinking, what the fuck is Kyle doing? What is this? And this is what it is. This is practice for me. I am not selling anything. I am not promoting anything. This is practice. See, I kind of always knew that I wanted to be some sort of personality. Even when I was a kid, I remember going on a cruise, and the cruise director, I don't know if you know what that is, it's the guy that kind of leads the cruise.
Yeah.
You know, he says, hey, what's up?
Comes over, greets every table.
Yeah, hey, I'm, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, this is Steve. I'll get into a more introduction in a second, but, the cruise director is the personality. He's the guy that leads everyone and says, hey, this is what time dinner is, there's a show later, and he's a fun guy. And I remember seeing that guy and thinking, I would like to be him, you know? And I kind of always knew that that was my passion, either that or comedy, radio, something. But it was kind of a self-esteem thing. I've gone through long periods of depression, probably the majority of my life. And when you're feeling like that, you don't feel like you can accomplish anything. And to accomplish anything, you need practice. So this is my first try. See, unfortunately, if you're not practicing, you're never going to improve. So the second question someone might have, clicking on the KyleCast, is, all right, if he's admitting that he's not selling or promoting anything, why put it on Facebook? Here's why. I could just practice by myself in my room, but there's no incentive to keep practicing. See, this is kind of, I would say this is an accountability move, kind of like what you did with Griffith Glass, and I'd love to get into more about that too. But what you did, and I give you all the credit in the world, you're probably by the way, Steve, I fucking love you, man. You're probably the reason that I'm starting this, you know? Because what you did is you jumped right in. You said, I'm Griffith Glass, this is what it is. If you don't like it, whatever, I'm going to do this. And that's what this is too. So I hope to be doing this for the foreseeable future. If you want to keep listening, please. I'm probably going to release about 1 a week. I got a lot of ideas. Not all of these are going to have videos. You know, some of them are going to be blackout drunk. Some of them are going to not be drunk. You know, whatever. But this is the KyleCast, so what's up? And this is my first guest. This is Steve Griffith. This is my lifelong best friend. He's a man. You know, I've, like, once in a while I'll reflect on our friendship, and it's like, it's unique. I feel super lucky to have connected.
I appreciate that, man. The privilege is all mine.
Yeah, word, man. So, you know, I talked about a little bit of my struggles, and I'll go into more of that later. But why don't we get to you? So, Steve, tell us about, like, your recent darkest period and how you've gotten to where you are today.
All right. So I'm Steve. I'm currently 27 years old. This is how my comedy bit started last night,
Which is great.
So a few years ago, back in 2012, I got married, and it was my wife at the time, my girlfriend of 9 years.
High school sweetheart.
High school sweetheart, yeah. We were married for a few months, 6 months or so. Then we started having some issues, and we ended the relationship, and kind of put me in like a downward spiral of depression and kind of like getting really hard on myself, and thinking like that's all my fault, and like what could I do to get out of this. And like my thing was like to escape. The Denver, like the dream of like I can just run away from it all, and I don't think that solved everything, but the combination of kind of Denver plus introducing meditation into my life.
Oh, you mind if I interject 1 second?
Go for it.
I was just going to say, so a little bit more background. I was originally from Rhode Island. We're both from Rhode Island. That's how we met. We met in high school, cross country. I moved to Austin, Texas 3 years ago, and then when you had that divorce,
Yep.
you had to make a change. So you said, I got to go to Denver.
Yeah, I was working for Fidelity Investments at the time, and it was what I thought I wanted to be doing, and I thought that a change to Denver, if anything, I can focus on my job right now and kind of use that as the crutch to kind of get through the tough time.
Mm-hmm. So you need to make a big change, and you saw an opening in Denver, and I also felt I needed to change.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It was an easy conversation to have with you to be like, yo, jump on board to this.
Yeah, I went with you, and so did Dave Puckta, who's also going to be a big part of this podcast too.
Yeah,
He'll be on a lot of episodes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we went to Denver for a year, and why? Okay, what would you say is different about Denver? Oh, wait, hold on, sorry. I'm all over the place. This is first fucking podcast. I don't care.
Yeah.
Space. So your phone storage is low.
Okay. Let's get to your phone then. For now, yours is still recording.
Yeah, cool.
Can I get into your view?
Yeah, cool. So we'll just shift over to this.
Okay.
So we're all gonna be over here now.
Yep. First problems.
So we'll just throw some video. We'll half and half it or something.
Move back a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. This will probably.
So what we were talking about, we talked about Denver. Oh, you went back home, and I kind of went back home too. I went back to Austin, and you went back to Rhode Island. And then a year later, we decided, let's try to make it work in Austin this time. So my question originally was, how would you compare and contrast the start that you had in Denver versus the start that you had in Austin, about a year apart?
Oh man, just completely different experiences altogether. Actually, this is Rex, so you guys will probably see a lot more of him as well. But yeah, Denver was more of like a rushed start. We had to just get back into work, get back into the swing of things, and I didn't really even do the right things to take care of myself at the time to kind of. I thought, being in a depression and such, I thought, just focusing on work and focusing on like, oh, I'm going to be with my friends now, and that's all that it takes to solve everything, and, or I'm away from Amanda, so it's going to solve everything, and that, can't run away from your problems, you gotta approach them, and we're kind of realizing that now, and I feel like the most progress that I have made is actually just dealing with the actual problems themselves, and, the methods that we've dealt with that we've learned over the last few years.
Damn, dude, that's an amazing way you just put that. You basically put it as Denver was running away, Austin was facing your problems.
Yeah, because it's
kind of
completely different. So
crazy way to put it.
More of my past, which is so that I then got in a relationship with another awesome girl, and that I had to choose to end that because it was progressing too fast. It wasn't what I needed. What I thought I needed at the time, and that's why we're here in Austin. But yeah, that is this is me kind of approaching the problem and taking more of a proactive approach rather than the opposite, which was Denver.
Cool.
Which is a lot more like self-hate towards ourselves. I don't know. We kind of just
So this is
more
another
negativity.
This is another concept I wanted to talk about: comfort versus growth.
Oh man.
And I think that is what we're doing here: growth. So in the last 24 hours, Steve and I have been fucking killing it. To be honest with you, we're fucking sweet dudes right now. So in the past 24 hours, how did it start? So I went home for 7 days. I came back with a total of like 8 hours sleep in 3 days. I had been drinking a ton. I was not feeling great, but I was also kind of feeling, let's do it. So I got back and we immediately, what's the first thing we did?
Meditated.
We meditated,
Yep.
we ran, and then we did stand-up comedy.
Stand-up
Steve
comedy,
did
my
stand-up
first
comedy
time.
for the first
It
time.
was awesome.
I did it again. I haven't done it in a long time. Then, we did go to the strip club after that. That's part of it too. We had a lot of fun. But then we woke up today, meditated again, and then we went to jiu-jitsu class. Steve's first jiu-jitsu class ever. And that's basically we're just doing stuff, and that's what I wanted to talk about too, about the whole podcast and like why I haven't progressed the way I feel I should. I've gone through long periods of comfort rather than growth, and comfort is when I'm eating very, very bad. I'm watching Netflix.
Because it feels good.
6-8 hours a night. Yeah, it feels good, and I'm not knocking anybody who's doing it because I'm doing it too. Like, we all do it. But it's like, there's got to be a balance. And when there's no growth, you're not evolving. And the other thing I wanted to say too about this podcast is it's for me to challenge my own ideas. Because everybody has these ideas in their head. And if you don't challenge them on a regular basis, you stagnate. You don't grow. And in my opinion, that's not a good thing. So whenever I've gone through periods of growth where I'm doing a lot of things, like right now, I feel like my brain has changed in just the last 24 hours. Do you?
But what
was
about
that?
those stale times? Don't they feel so good when you're cramming your face with ice cream and you're watching Netflix? At the current time, it doesn't. You don't like almost realize the damage. Is kind of what it feels like. Because then even just last week alone, went on some bad eating habits and went to bed a few nights with just like pounding headaches and like just kind of treating myself poorly. And then
it doesn't feel good. It doesn't.
I don't know. Sometimes
it doesn't.
I know. You're tricking yourself. I know. It's just it's the easy choice. That's why.
All right. So another thing I wanted to say too is I'm aware that this podcast is just whatever it is. This is not the Joe Rogan Experience, which everybody should listen to. And I want to bring up something from the Joe Rogan Experience, number 751 with Doug Stanhope. Rogan's talking about basically comfort. He's talking about Netflix, chilling, and he said like the most enlightened thing. He said, "I've noticed I can enjoy comfort as long as it comes after growth.
Yeah.
If I do the shit I need to do, then I can appreciate having a hamburger or whatever."
But you forget that. Like that's
what we're trying to remember that right now.
This is holding ourselves accountable right
This is
here.
holding ourselves accountable. Yeah. So, let's grow, man. I don't want to make this.
I feel like we know what we're the right decisions, and that we know how to like go about it. We've learned enough, about ourselves to know that if we just do the right steps, eat right, meditate, get out there and kind of make ourselves push ourselves out of the comfort zone. Like if we do all these things, it works, but
It works.
Just hard. It's harder.
And this is another thing too I wanted to talk about. I feel like the biggest problem is that people don't believe it works. Like people see other people doing these things, but then they have excuses for themselves. Like we did stand-up comedy, and anytime I mention stand-up comedy to a person, the usual reaction is, "Oh, I could never do that."
It's super scary, man. You gotta stand in front of a bunch of people.
It's super scary, but it's also a lie, because yes, you could do that. You just aren't in the correct mindset, and that's a very complicated thing to try and explain. But basically, again, I want to harp on the fact that I don't judge anyone for not doing something, but saying I can't do something is almost always incorrect. Unless it's physically impossible, of course.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a guy at the strip club last night. He's like, "Hey, how'd you get into glass blowing?" And we were talking for a while, and he asked me that, and he's just like, "I've always wanted to do it." And I was just like, "Well, why don't you just do it?" Like, he's like, "Well, I don't know. I just never really didn't take 20 minutes to look into like what do you need to buy, and then take another 20 minutes and kind of build off of it. It takes it's progress. Like, do some work."
The best example these days is businesses. So many dudes.
My way's at a strip club though. Hanging out.
Probably. Hey, so are we. But the best example is businesses these days. You talk to any dude in the world, and he's like, "Oh, I want to start a business, but I can't. I don't have enough money." Well, you know what? That's only true for opening up a bar or a restaurant. Like, sure, there are some businesses that require a huge amount of capital.
Capital. Keep that in there. I like that.
But most businesses don't these days. Like, there's a great book. I think it was Thomas Friedman called "The World Is Flat."
Oh yeah, I read that one.
Really?
No.
No, you've never read a book in your life. I gave you a great book. You've been meaning to read it for years.
I'm like 17 pages in, right? I'm working on it.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the World Is Flat is a book I read in college, and it was well beyond its time because it was written in like the thousands or whatever. But the guy's saying like there's no barriers to entry anymore. If you want to make a business in China, you can make a business in China. The world is flat. And now the world's really flat, Like, dude, we just recorded this with your phone, and you could send this to anyone you want. So basically what I'm saying is there's really no excuses. People make excuses, but how many of them are actually true?
Yeah, there are excuses, but they're not valid excuses.
Exactly.
So there's hundreds, there's infinite excuses, but...
And that's another thing with, so we're huge into meditation, and I want to keep this one kind of short. I would love to talk to you about your study, though, the study you did.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Steve did a 6-week study on meditation that changed him drastically. And
Loved it.
the truth of the matter is that meditation is proven now. Before I would mention meditation to people, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, man, cool." It sounds like a hippie thing, but nah, it's 100% proven. Like, there's studies that back up the science. It changes you for the better. And how did I start talking about this? Oh, right, excuses. So meditation helps you organize your thoughts. And when you have a thought like that, if you want to start a business and you're thinking to yourself, "I don't have enough money," here's what you need to do. Take a breath and think about where that thought comes from. "I don't have enough money." And actually give it an honest thought. is that coming from truth or is that coming from fear? And maybe it's truth. Maybe your business does require money. But my hypothesis is that the vast majority of the thoughts that you're having probably come from fear rather than truth.
Change is hard.
Change is really hard.
Everybody's like, well, I don't have money. I only have enough money to make the bills meet. Like, that's a lot of people. And then, I want to do something different, but how do I do something different? And then they're working all these hours and then trying to just pay for the same bills. But yeah, I don't know. It's a vicious cycle, man. I don't know.
It's a vicious cycle.
I'm not good at this stuff either. I'm still figuring it out. That's why we're doing this.
That's what this is. We just jumped into an ice cold pool and swam because we're weird dudes. We're just we're
There's
throwing
a method to our madness, though.
There is, but we're throwing shit at the wall and we're hoping something sticks. Is basically what's going on. And please continue to follow our shit throwing at the wall. I think that's good for now. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, it's cool. I'm excited to be doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
This is awesome.
Thank you so much. So that's episode 1 of the KyleCast. Thank you.
See you guys.